The best way to make a lot of money is to start by making a little bit of money. That's something that I try to tell every single person that's stuck at zero and is trying to get at one. A lot of people are extremely arrogant and think that a lot of things are beneath them. You know, going to cut grass, going to go door knock, things like that. And that's a mentality you don't want to have when you're trying to make money. See, you're not an entrepreneur, you're not a businessman right now. You are a hustler. That's the mentality you need to adopt. You need to hustle. So wrist check today, I've got the Datejust 36 black dial with the Jubilee bracelet. This was one of my first watches, my first real watch. I promise I'll bust out the day date for you guys soon, and the other watch is, this is my daily. I'm gonna go see my son right now. Whipping the Honda Accord. This is my humble mobile. It's a nice one, it's clean. And you know, ever since the last video, I changed my mind. See, I don't wanna spend any of the money that I'm actively working on to buy myself a nice car. I'll probably get a G-Wagon, or I'll probably get a GT60. I mean, I love Porsche, I love Mercedes, I love all those cars. But the next car I get, I want it to be a reality-changing car. My net worth right now is 1.3 million. It's going to 1.4 probably by next week. I make, you know, sometimes 100 grand a week, sometimes 100 grand a month. It kind of depends how the deals go. It's, you know, high-ticket e-commerce. So life is pretty good. But yeah, I don't want to spend any of that money on a liability. All of my money, my positions are basically this: 40% money market, 40%, you know, stocks and bonds, maybe 10% cash, and, you know, another 120 grand in watches, things like that. I've got a little bit of gold. By the way, I'm 27 years old. At 25, I was completely broke. 27, just turned 27 a few days ago. Sorry, at 24, I was completely broke. 2 years later, I've got, you know, this net worth. So it's not through saving and compound interest, but that is something that I will bank on for the rest of my life. I figured if I put $1 million in the S&P 500, I mean, at like 11% compound every single year, in 20 years, that's like $18 million or something. Correct me if I'm wrong. I do these calculations all the time, but you know, I might be wrong because, oh, I'm gonna miss the exit. Okay, see, that's a reason why I need a fast car, because missing an exit in a slow car, or almost missing an exit in a slow car, can be a fatal accident, but in a fast car, you can just get away with it. Speed is actually pretty cool. I drive a Z900 Kawasaki back in France. I actually lived in France half of my life, not a little bit more than that. I love motorcycles. I don't think I'd buy a motorcycle here because it's way too dangerous. I mean, you get your driver's license for 16 bucks. In France, all my friends, it costs like 2,000 euros to get your driver's license. You got to learn for like a year how to drive. It's manual. People are much more present, and you know, like they watch their mirrors, they know how to drive. Whereas in America, I mean, even myself, I hate to say it, but I'll look at my phone while I'm driving. I mean, the roads are so large, you don't even have to pay attention. And if a motorcyclist comes, that's just, you know, a pretty quick death. It'd be a pretty intense death, you know. I'm not opposed to an intense death, but let me make a little bit more money first and enjoy, because I've been hustling for the past 3 years and I haven't enjoyed anything. And you know, that's something that, sorry for my ADHD brain, but you know, I'm getting to the point right now where I'm really asking myself questions. What do I want to do? A side of me wants to buy a house and find a beautiful wife. Another side of me wants to go live in Europe with my boys and sleep with a bunch of pretty girls. So, you know, I'm tiraillé. Tiraillé is the French word. It comes from the rail, to be spread. It's you know, that ancient torture mechanism where they used to spread your limbs? That's tiraillement. Tirer means to pull off the rails, right? I really like words. I love analyzing words. It's something you guys will probably just, you know, learn about me a little bit on later on throughout the channel. But yeah, so I figured I'm doing all these smart things. I'm putting all my investments into not the 401k. Actually, I have a brokerage account. I don't believe in 401ks unless you're an employee and you can only put $6,000, $7,000, $8,000 or whatever the limit is on there. I use a brokerage account because you can take the money out whenever you want, and I want freedom. My whole life is based around freedom. I want to do whatever the fuck I want to do, you know, and whenever I want to do it and not be penalized for it. So that's why I use a brokerage account. So my positions are not in dividend yields, but I think since the Trump thing, my thing's gone up a good 100 grand. So that's pretty cool, but I don't count it as made income, because I also saw that, you know, during the whole tariff things, it dropped 20%, and, you know, that money that I thought I had made, and I had attached myself to emotion, like, oh my God, I'm up, you know, 15%. I made, you know, 70, 80 grand off that 400 or 500K, whatever. I lost it. And that's when I was like, I need to stop attaching myself emotionally to how much that S&P makes, and just see it as a long-term investment. So this channel is about the most passive thing I can do. It's super easy for me to talk. You know, I can't wait till we have a larger following and I'm actually teaching people stuff. And I figured all the ad revenue that I'm gonna get from this, and it won't be a lot, but I'll use that to pay for a nice car, because, you know, I want nice things. That's why I work hard. I'm not the most materialistic person, but I want nice things. And, you know, at $1.5 million or $1.3 million or whatever it is, I can't afford a $300,000 car. I can buy it, but there's a difference between buying and affording. And especially buying it, I think you need to spend less than 5% on a car. So what's that, times 20, times 10, 3 million, 6 million. You gotta have about $6 million in cash or in positions or net worth, right? To be able to buy a $300,000 car intelligently. And I don't believe in payments. I mean, everything I pay is fully paid off. I pay my insurance once a year, all in advance. I try to pay my rent. I pay, you know, the Google Workspace. I pay my car. I pay everything in advance. I hate payments. Payments to me feel like the biggest burden in the world. So I kind of went on a tangent, but I want to bring it back to the best way to make a lot of money is to start by making a little bit of money. When you're broke, you should have no shame. And I had no shame ever since a little kid. And I thank my parents for the way they raised me. They always let me ask people questions, do whatever I wanted, run around. I mean, I remember being like 7, 8 years old and being in St. Augustine for summer vacation, you know, for like staying there for 2 weeks or whatever. And my parents would go to this restaurant cafe, and I would group my cousins up, and we'd go outside and we'd start singing songs, and we'd, you know, singing songs. What the hell? Singing songs. You guys can tell that I'm not American. I mean, I sound American, but sometimes I sound a little bit retarded, but it's not a speech impediment. It's because English is not my first language. I promise you I sound a little bit more intelligent in my other languages. Regardless, just had to point that out. But regardless, yeah, we would put, you know, rocks on our shoes, like under with rubber bands, and make beats and songs and have people hum, and I would start singing and collecting money. I mean, I would do like fake malaria funds for children in Africa, and that sounds fucked up, but I made $120, and I've always been hustling, you know, whether it was because, you know, I like a cockroach. See, every person I've met would describe me in the best way possible, right? Not in like I'm a roach, but like as in like you crush you and you just always get back up. You get crushed and you always get back up. You always land on 4 feet. You always figure shit out. So that's the approach that I want you guys to take. Don't be afraid to go knock on doors and do things that are beneath you. Nothing is beneath you. Nobody gives a fuck. No one is here to save you. You got to do what you got to do to make money. And I promise you, there's money in everything. You can cut grass, okay? 40, 50, 60 bucks a lawn. Save up $2,000. Buy yourself some more stuff. Buy yourself a hitch for the back for your car to start transporting your lawnmower, your backpack blower. That's actually what I did, and I'll tell you guys my come up story in another video. You know, I actually started out cutting grass. That's why I use that analogy so much. But you start by doing that, and then you make a website, use some search engine optimization, some Google ads, some traffic, some nice video ads that are funny, Ryan Reynolds, Mint Mobile type funny videos, and then boom, you're taking over your whole entire city. You give a Calendly link for book appointments, you make a payment system where people can do recurring payments, you charge them $80 a month, you know, you come twice, 3 times in the summer, whatever, it's cheaper than you should be working for, but at least it's recurring, and recurring is gold. Boom, I'm going on a fucking rant right now. God damn. But yeah, you can scale your landscaping business to 15, 20K a month easy. I mean, if you're cutting 6 lawns a day, that's $300 times 30, that's $9,000. You hire someone, you get a 0-turn mower, you know what I mean? I mean, you can make 15, 20 grand. Then you start going after government contracts. Barbershop, same things. Go learn how to cut hair for a year. Cut everybody's hair for free. You know, then you can either start a YouTube channel and you know, start showing how you're cutting homeless people's hairs and monetize that and sell products to other barbers, or you can teach barbers, or you go work at a barber shop, and what you do is you grab a bunch of envelopes and you go put it in the new apartment complexes. Envelopes like, come get a barber, you know, free barber or whatever, half off first time. It's the most recurrent than ever. You'll get like 200 new leads. Boom. Cut 15 hairs a day. That's $50 times 15. $1,500. No, I'm wrong. 750, I think, whatever. Still 20 grand a month. I mean, there's money everywhere. People are just, in America, you think that things are beneath you, you know, just go do it. Go do it. Go be a hustler. And then start learning business, start learning systems, start learning psychology. And that's how you scale, and that's how you take it to the next level. Anyways, if you guys like this video, subscribe, like, you know, whatever they say. But yeah, let's get the message out to more people. Let's grow this channel. But yeah, appreciate you guys tuning in. Bye.